All right, looks like we can start. And whoever is late will join later. All right, so hello everyone, and thank you for joining today. Before we start, a quick introduction. My name is Nastya, and I work for companies, with companies that use money.com as their operational platform, helping them design systems that bring visibility and structure into complex processes. So today we are going to talk about something that many companies struggle with, a recruitment. But it's not just about hiring, but about the recruitment as a system. Um, okay, yeah. So today recruitment has changed like dramatically. Modern AI has almost completely reshaped the recruitment landscape. Candidates are now using AI to generate CVs, write applications, and tailor responses automatically. And at the same time, recruiters use AI to screen resumes, generate replies, and automate outreach. So sometimes it leads to like quite absurd situations when an AI recruiter agent is effectively communicating with AI candidate agent, and they like exchange messages, evaluate each other, and eventually produce a perfectly structured conclusion that is like it's an ideal match. So in many cases, AI doesn't necessarily improve recruitment. It just automates the noise and the chaos. So as a result, traditional job boards are rapidly losing effectiveness. When everyone can generate hundreds of AI written applications in minutes, signals just disappear in the volume. So what we see instead is just a shift toward networking to LinkedIn, to Facebook, etc. So it is about the targeted search and the direct outreach. And this makes recruitment look increasingly similar to sales, with pipeline, with relationships, and with structured processes. So let us start with a simple observation. Most hiring systems and processes are built around activities, not the data itself. So recruiters track things like CVs, interviews, emails, feedback, but what is often missing is a clear model of like a hiring funnel where those stages live like inside. So now today we're gonna talk about the funnel. What if we change a little bit the approach and treat a candidate like in sales? We need to properly score, contact, qualify, and shape the offer. Many companies already practice this, but most of the systems that they use are based on old concepts. So status based, they are status based, not the funnel based. So basically, those systems do not support new processes. In sales, actually, everyone understands the idea. So you have leads, you have qualified opportunities, which are also deals. You have proposals, you have closed deals, and every stage can have its own metrics. And this is where the leads and where you lead and where you manage the process. So we apply the same to recruitment, and it looks like many companies hire people by principles that actually have been dead for sales for 30 or more years. So they just wait for incoming requests. In hiring, the funnels usually or often invisible. For example, a company may say something like, we need to hire 5 engineers this quarter. But the question underneath is, how many candidates do we need in the pipeline to make this happen? So basically for 100 hires, we can have 40 screened resumes, 15 phone interviews, 60 technical interviews, like 2 offers and 1 hire. So it's literally it's the funnel. So without understanding this funnel, which means reflecting this funnel in the system. Recruitment becomes reactive instead of being proactive. Proactivity here is actually a reflection of sales approach, which requires different metrics within the process and the system. So we need to understand the top of the funnel size to have a guaranteed higher in the bottom. We need to understand the conversion rate on every step. We need to know if we have enough candidates to prioritize sourcing. So this is where systems and AI can help. Okay, so about AI, we often see the companies introduce AI tools into recruitment pipelines that look like this. So everyone has their own spreadsheet. Interview feedback is inconsistent. Hiring managers just evaluate candidates differently. And the data is scattered across like emails, notes, word books, whatever. So in this environment, AI actually becomes a noise. There's a lot of excitement right now around AI in hiring, like CV parsing, candidate ranking, automated screening. But in reality, AI is often uh, either not used at all because companies are afraid or heavily overestimated. So companies think that AI can solve like literally all their problems. So some companies avoid it completely because they just don't trust it, and others expect it to uh, magically like create their process ideal. Yeah. So in practice, neither of those approaches works. So the key to integrate is to create. Sorry, the key is to integrate AI carefully and intentionally to your recruitment system. So it should support the process but not replace it, and it should follow the logic of well-designed hiring system. The goal is to make AI work inside a structured system under your control. And to show you how that can look in practice, let's move into the system. Okay, so everything starts with a hiring request where the hiring manager is like sending the request to recruitment to fill the position. So actually, that's something that we all know about. And this request usually goes to the board or to somewhere where there are all incoming requests. So actually here we also have the process where the recruitment manager works with recruitment team. Hiring manager is working with recruitment team, with HR directly or with TA. And there are stages here like new, needs briefing, preparation, etc., etc. So as soon as we have the form to fill, sometimes it has enough information in it to start recruitment. If it's not, then the short briefing happens. So here, actually, everything is as usual. Then we can open the position. So there is something where AI can help already. So sometimes for several recruitment requests, we have one position. Let's say 3 hiring managers are recruiting for team assistant. It means that we can put one team assistant position and spread it through through the internet. So AI can here help to formulate the full text of the position. So if we see it, we can just create this LinkedIn, let's say, post automatically based on the parameters that we got. We don't need to create it manually. We just can create it within the system and automatically push, let's say, in LinkedIn. Then what usually happens, the CV starts coming in. But in a modern reality, we'll understand that sometimes we will need to source. We don't sometimes this something that is coming in is of a low quality or just not enough. I can go somewhere to public resources, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, etc. And the CVs, or I can just receive CVs via email in a random format. And all those CVs will be of a different structure, and I will need to, dedicate the effort to read and understand what is written in every section of those CVs. So for this, AI can help us like to structurize and to put all these CVs that we have in the random format to the single structure to make it easy to understand, to summarize it, and to make a first fit to applicable positions. Let's say I decided that I might hire Richard Branson for one of my positions. So I'm just downloading his LinkedIn profile, and I just go to AI-based solution, which was done with vibe coding inside of the platform. And I will just upload a couple of CVs here. And as soon as those are uploaded, I would like to process them just to see if they match the position. And let's say we have one person who matches the position. So system is screening the resume, the CV is giving us a short summary for me to understand what I'm talking about, what we're talking about here. And the system is prompting the positions which could be a good fit for this particular candidate. Let's say I'm creating this one, and I'm going to the next one. And now CV by CV with the bulk upload, we can quickly scan and see what candidates can match to our positions and what cannot. So for others, I can just skip, and I can see how many like good resumes I have in all the pool that I have just uploaded. The CVs which cannot match those positions can automatically go to the talent pool. Now let's take a look at talent pool. So talent pool is the place where you can store your candidates who did apply to the position or who you reached to, but where the magic did not happen. So this can be just a place where you store the passive candidates who are interested, qualified, but not are applying at the moment. And according to GDPR requirements, this talent pool may be automatically cleaned after several months, or depending on the policy. Clean this pool automatically just to make sure that you are compliant and all the necessary candidates who do not desire to stay here are automatically deleted. This talent pool can be a good source of candidates for open positions because using AI, you can extract candidates from this talent pool and automatically match them to the position in a PipeGen board. For the talent pool candidate, you can see all the candidate journey summary. Let's say what was the interaction, what was the scoring, who reached out to candidate. So you can have all the information in one place in order to have to make a decision if we need to reach out to this candidate again or not. So using the talent pool and all the centralized information within is highly recommended. We know that some CVs will be deleted soon due GDPR restrictions, but anyway, the automatically storing candidates in talent pool, at least for a short period of time, will significantly increase your talent base, and you'll be able to automatically match those candidates with existing positions using AI. We would also take a look at the pipeline. So this pipeline, candidate pipeline, is something that relates to CRM system model. This is the pool of the candidates who you never reached out and who you just sourced. So the stages of those candidates are a little bit different. So they are treated as leads. And as soon as they are treated as leads, there is something like attempting to contact, contacted, qualified, disqualified, etc. And as those candidates have the same nature as leads, you can use inbuilt AI CRM models, some such as AI agents for sourcing. But instead of sourcing leads, you can source your candidates. So you can just describe your ideal candidates or one or several profiles and start searching. And these AI agents will automatically add candidates for outreach into your candidate pool. And as soon as those candidates are added, you will start having all the information within one place. So you will have all the stages, every type of the communication method that was found through the internet or LinkedIn or whatever. And you will be able to send the message and contact the candidates within the system in order to get all the information and store all the information inside, even if the candidate is moved to a different funnel or to a different board, or if we offer this candidate a different position. And as soon as we reached out to candidate, this candidate can move into the pipeline. So recruitment pipeline is the core of the system, but as we are talking about CRM structurized system, the system will look a little bit differently. So here we can see like a regular pipeline that most of you most likely have in your ATS systems. And this pipeline is splitting candidates by stage. So we can see how many CV screening we have, how many phone screens, technical interviews, all the dates, etc., all the statuses. And there is just a plain list of candidates split by statuses. But as soon as we add AI, situation becomes different. So we can see that some of candidates match the position more than others, obviously. But in order to understand this, we will need to include CI model that will automatically evaluate the candidate and match the position. So if the position is matched, the AI model is screening the CV, screening the position, compares the requirements and the data in CV, and gives us a hint, a prompt, a conclusion, if the candidate is a good match or not. So in this case, the funnel is changed dramatically. We can see, based on the match, which candidates we need to reach out to first. So the AI can tell us, like, for exceptional match, not to use the candidate. Those candidates need to be contacted urgently. This will help us to address the best candidates first, and not, first of all, not to lose the candidate and to quickly access to them, and the second, to dedicate our effort into right direction, not to go CV by CV, not to read every CV, not to cold call, one by one, but to prioritize candidates among each other, and to reach out to to matching candidates first. Let's say in this particular example, we can see something like we have several good matches which are on CV screening phase, and where the phone call is not scheduled, and the CV is not, just skimmed through by a person, by a human. It means that we need to dedicate our effort to prioritize this group first, and then we can go to the strong match to another group, which to the candidates who are more or less matching the existing position. This is the significant difference between the classical status-based system and CRM priority-based ones. So if you choose this approach, you will save a lot of time, a ton of time to prioritize candidates and use AI to help you in decision making. In the recruitment pipeline, we will have all the information related to particular candidates stored in one place. So on the candidate card, we'll be able to see everything related to this person. We will see the current status of this cycle of hiring. We'll be able to see the source, we'll be able to see the stages, all the contact details, and this information, which is summarized by AI as well, for you to quickly understand what was happening with this particular candidate. We will also be able to see what was the communication history with this particular candidate. So we'll be able to see how many interviews we had, what was the result, etc., etc. Apart from the details that we have here on the candidate's card, we can also see the scoring principles that AI was performing. So we have the position that we are, trying this candidate to, and we have some measurements and metrics and the scoring points that AI granted to this candidate based on the position requirements. So actually, we can focus on some areas or criteria, or focus on another depending on the position. So we can just double check here in the scoring section whether the candidate was properly scored, properly scanned, and where the focus was put on. So based on the parsed CV summary and scoring description and the breakdown, we can estimate and understand and fine-tune our scoring mechanism as well. So we can understand where did AI take a look into and what decision it made. And based on this scoring, we can prioritize candidates both automatically, and we also can have a manual prioritization if we need. One more great AI feature that I would like to tell you about is the meeting assistant. We all have those meeting assistants in Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, whatever. So all those assistants are external. But if the meeting assistant is included into your system, if it's inside the system, then it will have the option to enrich the information about your candidate right in the system. So what I can do now, I can just open the meeting that I had. Let's say I'm a hiring manager, or I would like to schedule a technical interview, and I'll be able to see what was happening, what were the replies of candidates. I can see the summary. I can shorten it with AI just to very quickly skim through. I can see the agenda, I can see the topics, I can see the action plan, and I can also see the call recording.
And then I create milestone-based timeline. And also I'm maintaining daily. I focus discussion on shared project goals.
So actually, if the AI assistant, if the meeting assistant is built into the recruitment system, then it will leave all the artifacts inside. And I would suggest you to either have this AI assistant in the system or integrate your existing assistant with the system in order to get all the information without manual copy pasting back and forth. So for this case, in Monday, we have a sidekick and note taker, but you can also use different configurations with different AIs or LLM models. But the main thing is that those two systems need to work close to each other together. All right, so as we have all the information here in the candidate card, then it means that all those candidate cards can be summarized and the information can be also extracted to the statistics. So the cherry on the top, recruitment funnel statistics. When we treat recruitment system as a CRM, when it is open to candidate and has a funnel inside, then we are able to gather all the related statistics. First of all, you will have the funnel chart, funnel diagram, where you'll be able to estimate how many candidates are in the top of the funnel, how many of those are hired as a result, and what is the conversion on every step. This metrics is crucial in order to predict your hiring numbers, in order to understand how many people you need on the top of the funnel in order to have the necessary number of hires. So this funnel funnel-based structure will give you these statistics that will significantly change your approach to recruiting. We can also measure the offer acceptance rate, something like how many offers were sent, how many of those were accepted. And based on these statistics, you'll be able also to estimate around how many candidates are required per one hire. So how many candidates you need in order to position to be filled. And these numbers can differ from one position to another. So you can just filter, you can just sort, and you can just narrow the statistics in order to understand the numbers for your particular case. We can also measure time to hire for both the position and the candidate. So time to hire, time to fill up the request, which is sent by a hiring manager, and the full hiring circle from the first contact to onboarding start can be measured as well. We can also see on which stages we have more drop-offs. Obviously, it can be CV, but anyway, we can measure the drop-offs on every stage. And this is actually a very, very important statistic slice, which is pipeline health. Let me just enlarge it. Yeah. So for this, we have many positions, and we have the average number of the funnel start of the incoming candidates for every position. And based on the statistics, we can predict if we have enough candidates on this position or not. And having this information, we can properly dedicate our effort to either contacting the existing candidates and making them, like inviting them to calls, sending them the tests, etc., or sourcing the candidates for positions where the pipeline is not enough. So if we have less candidates to fill up the pipeline that we require, it means that we need to focus on sourcing more than on pushing existing candidates, because mathematically these positions might not be closed with existing pipeline. It means that sometimes it can seem that we need to, let's say, focus on high priority positions and we need more sourcing and more and more and more. But based on statistics, sometimes we have enough candidates for this position and we just need to work with existing pipeline. But for another positions, sometimes we don't have enough, even if we feel that maybe the position can fill up. So this kind of statistics will help you again to save your time on focusing on the proper activities instead of going, line by line, CV by CV. We also can measure the source pipeline. So it means that how many candidates are coming and how many candidates are hired. So from different sources, we can have many incoming CVs which will not fit our existing positions. But in some sources, we can have several CVs, but the quality of those CVs would be much higher. And we would like to focus on those sources instead of the mass sources where the quality of CVs is not enough. And this can work differently for different types of positions. So for mass positions, it can work one way. For executive positions, it can work differently. So depending on the position, you can slice and filter this data so you will have the relevant information for every position. And it will help you to focus more on the sources that will bring you a better profit. And if you include AI into your work or just optimize your work, you can just measure how many candidates were processed month by month. So having these statistics, you will be able to manage your pipeline, manage your hiring much more effectively and have much more efficiency in your everyday's work. Okay, so getting back to the deck, AI can help us when the system is properly structured. And today, the system should be structured as CRM, I mean, the recruitment system, because now we need to be more proactive than reactive, and we need to manage and to lead the sourcing process. So here actually are three main pillars of a successful CRM-based recruitment system. First of all, it's the candidate pipeline. So the system should be structured as a funnel. Then it's a smart scoring with AI that can help us to understand the priorities of reaching to our candidates. The third thing is the communication. So the communication should be all stored in one place for us to quickly summarize it with AI and understand on which step are we currently with this candidate. And the core of the system and the main part of the system is the analytics that can make our process manageable. How many candidates do we need? Where do we need to focus now? What is our priority now in terms of limited resources and unlimited CVs created by people and sent to us, or with our okay. And today we also have a special offer for those who attended this webinar and who will book the call this month. First of all, we will offer your system, your Monday instance, a free house check, which is usually a paid service. Then we will offer an expert consultation if you don't have Monday and you decide to switch to the new recruitment approach with Monday. We'll be glad to have one-to-one session with you for the strategy and for understanding how this HR solution can cover your needs. And for everyone, for both new and existing customers, we will offer exclusive license and implementation pricing and conditions. Because now it's the end of the quarter and we are pretty flexible with the prices. So take your chance, book a call, and we will see each other soon. I would like to thank you for your interest. Thank you that you came to attend this to attend this webinar. We will see each other soon, and I would like to hear your questions.